All right, so I just saw a movie called You People. Let's just get to it. We got this guy named Erza. He does a podcast with his friend by name of Mo, so sometimes they call him Easy, but his name is Erza. So it's a podcast basically about the culture, black culture, things of that nature, whatnot. Now, Erza is white, but technically he's Jewish. But he also has this job doing like stock exchange and things of that nature. So later on, he ends up going with his parents and his sister to Yom Kippur or whatnot. And his mom, Shelly, is basically trying to be down, but low-key, she's just like culturally inappropriate or whatever. Pretty freaking hilarious. So they're talking with all the people in the church, and let's just say they're just, yeah. So the thing is, every now and then he talks to his homie Mo, and he's pretty much struggling to find a girl that will understand him or whatever like that, right? And his mom tries to set them up with this chick named Kim, and she's smart, she's about money or whatever like that, but basically mom's trying to set her up because she's Jewish too, so there you go. So they set up the date, they talk, and everything's all cool, but it's just like, well, it's not really his taste. They don't really see eye to eye back and forth about things. So he's at work one day, he's got to deal with his boss. And then we get this girl by the name of Amira. At one point, she was dealing with this dude named Chris, but she had to cut him off just because they weren't clicking like they were anymore or whatever like that. Basically, because he wasn't being real with her, honestly, but, So at this point, I guess she's ended up driving to work. So Erza is leaving out of his job, but he had called the Uber or whatever like that. So he hops in the car, Uber. It turns out it's actually Amira's car. She's like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Then he explains to her the girl that he called the Uber for looks exactly like her or whatever. So she sees the picture, does see a little bit of resemblance. So then after that, she ends up taking him where he needs to go. And eventually they just get to talking. So I guess a couple weeks go by and they just start dating. She talks to her brother about it because her brother knows who he is. The thing is, her father doesn't. Now their family is technically Muslim. But the way he comes off as like some old school civil rights activist. Conversation is quite hilarious. So basically, Erza and Amira been dating for a while, shit getting it popping, making it do what it do. Now at this point, 6 months goes by and they're about to meet each other's parents. First, Amira meets Erza's parents, who are just basically culturally out of the loop. Erza's dad keeps talking about his favorite shows like Exhibit, Pimp My Ride. He starts playing John Legend songs to her on the piano and shit. I'm like, yeah. But she doesn't mind, it's cool. So his mom out the blue, all of a sudden brings up like Magic Johnson and police brutality. And that's when Erza's like, all right, you gotta talk to the kitchen. So the thing is, he's actually thinking about popping the question. But obviously he doesn't want Amira to know that just yet. But before all that happens, Erza goes by himself to meet Amira's parents. Boy. So at this point, you're thinking technically to yourself, it's been 6 months. This is the first time they're meeting each other's parents. Boy. He gets them together like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like, he was trying to get the waiter to get them their food, and the waiter kicked them out because she was on a smoke break and shit. Trust me, the conversation between them is hilarious. But the purpose of him doing that was to ask for their blessing to marry their daughter. And I'm thinking to myself, like, once again, is this the first time he's meeting them? And it's been 6 months. So when he gets back to the house, he lets Amira know though the situation was kind of a disaster, this, that, and the third. And while he's explaining himself, he's pulling the ring out of the pocket. And she's like, oh shit. Like, she calms down real quick. And then he pops the question. She says yes. Now, he was talking to Mo about this before, and they were like, the ring is kind of small or whatever like that. But the thing is, it's his grandmother's Holocaust ring. So it's like, okay. So yeah, now they're basically engaged. So now we get to the point where we're about to have the family dinner. The parents are meeting each other. Boy. So at the table, they're getting the conversations about the Holocaust and slavery going back and forth. And Erza's trying to dial the situation down, but he can't. Now, Amira's dad has got this kufi on, right? But he got it from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. So while they're going back and forth, you think something's going to happen in this situation, right? So apparently, they try to get Erza's mom to blow out the candles because the candles didn't smell good to them or something like that. So she takes the candles out, and she was trying to get to this other side to maneuver around. Meanwhile, the candle's still lit. The candles, she accidentally burns his kufi. Yeah, it was turned to ash. It was like, wow. So dinner was a disaster. So Erza and Amira were having little small problems with their relationship, but it was more based off of the parent stuff than them, you know what I'm saying? So we get to this point where the parents are going to spend time with each other. Erza is with Amira's dad, and Amira is with Erza's mom. Erza's in the car, they got the music pumping, they playing a song called Nigga in Paris, that Kanye West thing. So like, that conversation in itself was hilarious. Shelly's in the car with Amira, and she's listening to music, and once again, she's trying to be culturally appropriate, but it's just not working. Now, meanwhile, Amira's dad is taking Erza to this barbershop, but the thing is, Erza's got this red hoodie on, right? And he ends up taking him to a Crip barbershop. Surprisingly, Anthony Anderson is in there cutting hair. I'm like, really, Anthony Anderson barbershop? That's what we're doing? But anyway, the interaction between that was freaking hilarious. Then he takes him to a basketball court to see if he wants to play basketball, you know what I'm saying? Test his skills and whatnot. At first, he was looking like trash, but then, he picked it back up. And surprisingly, his dad was like, oh, yeah, recording stuff and footage for himself and all that. So it was like, yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side, Shelly took Amira to this like beauty supply salon or whatever like that. To this little spa to get pampered and whatnot. So they go to the counter, And then this other white girl goes past them, so she thinks she's being ignored because she's with Amira or whatever like that. So before Shelly blows up on the counter lady, we see the other girl come back. We realize that she actually works there. So our couple comes back from the treatments and they're just like, yeah, her parents are crazy. So I guess some time has gone by and now comes the bachelor parties. Erza and Mo, a couple of friends are going to the bachelor party, and all of a sudden Amira's dad comes out of nowhere. Like, yeah, I'm my new son-in-law, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get it popping. Meanwhile, Amira and her mom and Erza's mom, they all get together for this pampering or whatever like that, Palm Beach or Silver Springs or something like that. Now they getting it popping there while Erza and his peoples are going to Vegas. But obviously Amira's dad just keeps an eye on him, you know what I'm saying? So basically Erza's not really gonna have a whole lot of fun while his friends are doing like coke and shit. And then one of his friends is like, yeah, man, where's your supplier at? You know what I'm saying? Come on, help me out. So Erza's like, shut the fuck up. So basically, Amira's dad got something she can hold over him right now. So it's like, there you go. Meanwhile, Shelly accidentally got too close to one of like Amira's mom's friends and stuff like that. And that wig actually snatched it off her head. And she's just like, oh my God. So there's a lot of craziness going on with both bachelor parties. The stress of their parents is starting to build towards the couple. You know what I'm saying? So it gets to a point it comes to the reception dinner. Everybody makes their toast. And of course, the toast got to be hilarious. And when it comes to Amira's dad's toast, he basically says he sees Erza for what he is, you know what I'm saying? But they toast up anyway, a celebration. But we all know what he was referring to. So Erza has a one-on-one with Amira's dad, and he basically puts him in his place. And the same thing goes for Amira and Shelly. And it gets to a point where Erza and Amira go outside to talk. And they don't think the marriage will be able to work long time because they don't feel like their parents are going to be able to change, you know what I mean? And they don't know if they could deal with that for a lifetime. So unfortunately, because of their peoples, they end up breaking up. 3 months goes by, and we see Erza and Mo doing that full-time podcast stuff, and it's really been taking off. Amira's dad is chilling with the uncle. The uncle starts spitting some fire to him, and then he really starts thinking about things. It's like, all right, I got to do something to make this up. And I'm like, it's been like 3 months, though. So of all people, he ends up calling Shelly, and they set it up so Erza and Amira can meet up with each other. Dad basically lied to Amira to get her there. Shelly lied to Erza talking about she wants to get some shoes or whatever like that. But basically, it's for both of them to meet up again. They apologize and all that. And then after they apologize, they tell them they're supposed to meet up in this little warehouse thing, right? So they go inside, but both of them are just talking to each other before they go into this warehouse or whatever. Because obviously they miss each other. The thing is, they didn't even really want to break up. It was all because their parents couldn't get along and things of that nature. It's like the Hatfields and McCoys and shit. If you don't get the reference, well, it is kind of old. But anyway, look it up. So they go into this warehouse, but it turns out it's like a whole big setup for like a wedding. Everybody's been sitting in there waiting on them to walk down the aisle or whatever. And they basically do a spontaneous wedding. My question is, how would they know what they had felt like after like 3 months? You know what I'm saying? They just assumed all this shit would work, right? Anyway, they end up doing a shotgun wedding for real. The Jewish side of the family gets together with the Muslim side of the family, and they celebrate how they're supposed to celebrate, and that's how it goes down the end. Y'all know me, I'm not really good with culture films just because a lot of it, is classic with the jokes and things of that nature. If I start to talk about that, this video will go on for like 30 minutes. The point is, You People's a damn good movie. I mean, it had Lauren London in it, Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, Nia Long, Julia Dreyfus, the chick from Seinfeld. Lala was one of the friends. Andrew Schultz was one of the friends too. Yeah, there was a lot of people in this movie. Erza's boss was that guy. He's always the guy in like Will Ferrell movies. Have you ever seen Semi-Pro? He's the guy that's like, corn dogs, Ricky, corn dogs. But anyway, bottom line, that's a nice all-star lineup cast, you know what I'm saying? And you should watch it because for one, it's called You People, and two, Eddie Murphy's in it. And plenty of others like I just mentioned. So bottom line, You People on Netflix. Check it out.